Hey guys, this is Hetu and welcome back to etlqalabs. So guys, in today's session we will look at a very important concept in data warehousing, right? So it's about how do we design the data warehouse and data marts, right, in our data warehousing projects, right? So we will look at the approaches, right? There are two approaches basically. So we will see that uh, the data warehouse design approach. Okay, so there are two approach. One is called top down approach, and the second one is called the bottom up approach. Okay, bottom up approach. Okay, so we will look at each of these two, right? And then we'll try to see why there are two approach to design the data warehouse, right? Okay, one second, guys. Okay, it should be approach. All right. So before that, right? So let's try to understand what is top-down approach, right? So top-down approach, what we do basically, right? So I will show you. I already draw a picture. I will show you picture. Then I think it will make more sense to you. So this picture, guys, if you look at it, right? So we have these are the source systems, right? So these are the OLTP systems, right? And then you have the ETL, and then we directly load into the data warehouse here. Okay, and then from data warehouse we have the data marts. So if you are not aware about the data marts, what are data marts, right? So just to explain you, data marts are basically a very subject oriented data warehouse, I would say. uh, it's not right definition, but I will say that these are basically very subject oriented. Okay, and data warehouse will contain entire thing about the organization, right? For example, let's say I have a software corporate, right? Let's say I have a company, right? um, let's say ABC software, anything, yeah. I'm saying that ABC software, this company is there. Now, this particular data warehouse will contain everything about this particular company organization, right? Now, when it comes to data marts, it can be further segregated into subject area. So, for example, HR related data will be here in data mart 1, and here let's say sales, and here let's say finance. Okay. So, in this case, what is happening is basically one entire data warehouse uh, data, right? So in top-down approach, what we do basically we design the data warehouse first, yeah, which will contain every possible information about the organization, right? Whatever we want to, and then after that, what we will do is we will segregate. I mean, we will design the further subject specific data marts, right? So these are basically the department wise. Uh, I would we can say that department wise smaller data warehouse, right? So this is how it is, right? So this particular approach is called top-down approach, guys. Yeah. But whereas in case of bottom-up approach, what we do basically we design first the data marts, right? These are the subject related, marts, and then after that we actually club everything and we uh, built a data warehouse, the whole warehouse. So basically everything whatever we have developed here, like we have designed individual data marts, they all will be clubbed together and that will be called as a data warehouse, right? So this is a bottom up approach, guys. Okay, and there are very pros and cons for each of this approach, right? But let's try to understand who has discovered this particular top down approach and bottom up approach. Okay, so hope you are able to understand it, right? So when you have loaded everything in one place, this is called the data warehouse, and then when you segregate the data based on the department or based on the subject area, that is called the data marts basically, right? So as simple as that. So both of them are storage system only, right? Which are actually storing the historical data, right? So that's only difference, right? Now let's go back to this approach, right? So we will look at each of them, right? So we'll try to understand. And guys, see, mostly if you see the organizations are basically, most of the time the organizations are basically. So we'll try to understand what is top-down approach first, okay? So top-down approach, as I said that data warehouse is built first and then data marts, individual data marts are built, right? Data marts, right? Uh, Now, second point is the top-down approach is basically it was uh, it was suggested or invented by Bill Inman, Bill Inman, right? And Bill Inman also called as father of data warehousing, guys, right? As data warehousing, okay? So he has suggested this particular, the design approach, the design methodology for the data warehouse design, right? And the third point about this is basically this, this approach is very good, but problem is this approach is like it needs lot of expertise, right? Because actually we are going to build first data warehouse, the whole data warehouse we are going to build first of all. In that we need it's very difficult to forecast everything around the need of each of the departments as well, right? So that's little bit difficult, okay, to build it. And the third point is it's mm, it's basically I think I should discuss about advantages, okay? Advantage is basically it's very good design, okay, good design, and I would say the future proof design, okay, because once you built this, because you already taken care of every requirement about the data warehousing, and then from the data warehouse it's very easy to build the individual data marts, right? So that's easy one, I would say. Yeah, it's easy, okay. Okay, but easy but not quick, guys. Yeah, it's it takes a lot of time. So when I say fourth point, difficult, difficult to difficult to get all estimates or source systems also. We don't know what all the source systems will be there, and also we don't know because this is representing the whole warehouse, right? Data warehouse. Then representing the whole picture is difficult. Okay, all right, guys. And then as I said that difficult to forecast also, right? Because every I would say difficult to forecast as every department need are different, right? Okay. So these are the some of the things that we should keep in mind about this. And guys, in industries, fairly these are actually this takes a lot of time basically, right? So they are high cost and uh, longer time period to implement. Okay, many times because of all these things, um, because of high cost and longer time, this kind of projects fails basically, right? So that also we need to keep it in mind, right? So as I said, this is by Bill Inman. Okay, okay. Now, guys, if you look at the industry, I think this is not the best design approach basically. Okay, so I would say 30 to 40% people basically go for this as per my understanding, right? 30 to 40% industries will prefer this. Remaining 70 to 60 to 70% industries basically go for the bottom up approach. Why? Because this is very easy to build first of all, okay, I will say not okay, easy to build basically, but for future, right, there might be a problem. Other point is also, guys, I will say one more point here. If you know about this, right, so don't worry too much about it. This is basically built around normalized, right, or normalized database, right? So basically 3NF. So your data warehouse will be having three normal form basically, guys, here, right? This will be three normal form, 3NF. Okay. I'll talk about normalization of data warehouse database, right? Later point of time, I think I have not covered any video. If I've not covered, I will try to show you. Because the level of data that we actually receive from the OLTP system are all normalized, right? And when we load into the data warehouse, or when we call here the data marts, right? So we have the dimensional modeling concept here, right? So in dimensional modeling, the data is denormalized form, right? When I say denormalized form, basically and very less and less tables will be there, and more columns in each of the tables. So let's say in source I have 10 different tables. In my target I might get only two tables, right, to accommodate all the data. So that is basically called denormalized form. But here what is happening in top down approach, we are actually not doing any kind of dimensional modeling only. We are actually loading the data into three normal form only. Yeah. So this is one of the thing that I wanted to mention here. Okay. So normalized form data is loaded basically. Okay. Now let me cover about bottom up. So this was basically the design approach is first we actually develop the data marts, and then we go for data warehouse, right? So as I said here, right, as I mentioned it, there are a lot of data marts that will be created first, and then everything will be merged down into data warehouse, right? So other thing that we would like to understand is basically uh, second point, right? Second point is basically who invented this. So this was invented by Ralph, guys, Ralph Kimball. Okay, Ralph Kimball is also a very uh, popular and known, scientist in data warehousing, right? So Ralph Kimball, and this was suggested. And market, as I said, market share, most of the market people are actually around 40 to 70%, right? 40 to 70% people are actually following this. Why? Because see, once let's say you want to design, first of all, how the things happens, right? So because we don't really need a whole data warehouse in the beginning only for any corporate, right? Any companies. So they would like to see that which business area they want the data warehouse first, right? So for that, what they will do, they will start building the database for that, right? So that is nothing but that is data marts, right? So they will, let's say, do it for HR first, and after doing it HR, they are done with that, right? And later they realize that we also need it for finance subject area, a subject department, right? In that case, they will go for finance, and then some other subject are the business dimensions, right? They will build it, and finally they will merge it as part of a data warehouse, right? So that can be easily done later point of time, right? But the idea is none of the organization until unless they are very mature, they will not go for the whole big bang data warehouse designing, right? Means data warehouse building first of all only. So they will basically start with data marts based on their needs, and once every data marts is done, then finally they can actually club into data warehouse, right? So that is the reason this is more behaviorally, this is more required. That's why most of the industries are the companies are actually implementing this approach, right? Or some companies actually go for hybrid as well, but let's not discuss about that. Hybrid is basically mix of top down and bottom up, but let's not go into that discussion now. So this is how it is. Okay. Now, what are the benefits, guys? So there, so other thing is, I'll say uh, it is easy, right? Easy and quicker because we are actually doing it for a department wise, right? So you will have very less amount of data and you can easily integrate it, right? Now, quicker to develop or build, I will say, right? Build. Now, uh, I will say easy to estimate and success rate is more basically, right? Success rate is high for data marts, right? Which means in that case, for the bottom up approach, the success rate is high. Now, easy to forecast because you already know that, but only one problem that we will find is basically for the future purpose, right? In future, it is very difficult because there might be lot of redundant data that we already have in the data marts, right? So redundant, redundant, redundant data. So redundant data, when I say that same data may be available in HR department and the same data, for example, let's say I am doing HR and I am doing the finance. So let's say HR data marts. I have HR data marts first, okay? In HR data marts, let's say I am using employee information, right? Employee dimension table is already there, okay? Now, when I am building finance, okay? Again, I will be using the employee table here, employee information here, right? In this case, if I say that these two data marts, right, finance and HR both are actually sharing this particular dimension table, or I would say this is the static information. I mean, basically, these are the dimension information. So, in that case, what we are actually doing, so within these two data marts, right? So, one data mart is HR and one data mart is finance, right? These two data marts are actually using the same dimension, right? Same dimension table, right? So this kind of dimension tables which are actually used across are more than two or more than two data marts, they are called as confirmed dimensions, guys. Okay, confirmed dimension. So this is the one of the question also. You should keep it in mind that interviewer might ask you what is confirmed dimensions, right? So hope you are able to understand, right? So when we have a particular dimension being used across two or more than two data marts, right? Can be shared across multiple fact tables, and then that particular dimension is called confirmed dimension. Okay, so we actually, that's why I said, right? So here we are actually what we are actually doing is we are using the dimensional modeling here, right? Dimensional modeling, dimen dimensional modeling approach, which means modeling, okay, which means we are actually designing fact and dimension tables here, yeah. But there we are actually using the relational model, yeah. So that's why we are actually using the three normal form data in the three normal form tables, right? But here the tables are in fact and dimension, right? So this is also one of the difference that you should be noticing. Okay. Now, guys, what else? Yeah, I think these are pretty much few things that I wanted to cover, guys. Okay, and I mean overall you should understand, right? What exactly it means, right? Uh, and then it will be easy for you to understand. Now, if I show you here, guys, so now what is happening here is the data warehouse, and no, normally, guys, these are the data warehouse, and after that there are the reporting systems, right? You know that, right? So there will be reporting systems here. So for example, one is here, one is here. These are basically different kind of reports, right? So reports basically are being fetched from data warehouse, right? So this is, let's say, one second. This is report 1, this is report 2, right? So the whole purpose of data warehousing is nothing but, guys, the getting the proper reporting data and analyzing, right, for the business forecasting and growth, right. Similarly, here also we have, right. So here also we will be having the reporting system, guys, right. Here also we'll be having reporting system, and this reporting system will be actually done from uh, data marts, not from the data warehouse. So based on the design, right? So hope you are able to understand this top-down and bottom-up approach. And sometime, interviewer might want to ask you like uh, whether you have the correct understanding about the data warehousing design or not, right? Data warehouse design or building approach, right? So that's the reason I thought I will cover it. And yeah, that's all for this video, guys. And I'll see you soon with the next video. Until then, happy learning. God bless you. Bye.